It's scary out there. I wonder how many people among us are sick in the head. Folks, if you feel you're living your life not normal, try to control your mind before it's too late. Don't let it run loose. This is a crazy true story that will change your life forever. Viewer discretion is advised. In 1889, when Karl Tanzler was just 12 years old, living with his family in Germany, he would have this weird dream that would change his life forever. Karl was dreaming. He was in this black void. Where am I? Where am I? And then he would hear footsteps right behind him. He would turn around and he would see a woman in a white puffy dress coming towards him. And she came up to him and she said, "I'm Anna Constante von Brockdorf." In the 1700s in Germany, there was a real person named Anna Constante von Brockdorf. But anyway, back to the dream. She told him, "I'm a distant relative of yours, and you have a mission in life." He told her, "What?" She pointed to the black void, and all of a sudden, a picture of a face of this beautiful woman was coming towards him. She told him, "You see that? You're gonna need to save that person." And then all of a sudden, Karl would wake up. Time out. Like and subscribe. God bless you. Do me right. I wouldn't do you guys wrong, and you know it. Let's go back. Time back in. When Karl woke up, he kept on thinking about that dream. Was that a dream? Or was that my mind playing tricks on me again? Weeks would pass by. He had the same dream. Months would pass by. He kept on having the same dream. Heck, years would pass by. He kept on having the same dream. But there was no beautiful woman for him to save. Fast forward to 1926. Karl is now 39 years old, married, with 2 daughters. But he was disappointed. He kept on thinking, wow, my mind was playing tricks on me. No beautiful woman ever came in my life. He was truly disappointed. And that year, Germany was having economical difficulties. So Karl and his family decided to move to America, and they settled in Central Florida. Within a year of moving to Central Florida, Karl and his wife would have a falling out and they would split up. Karl would then move to Key West, Florida, and become an X-ray technician at a local hospital. Within that year, an older woman would come to his office and tell him, "Doctor, my daughter's been coughing and we need to do some X-rays on her chest to see what's wrong with her." So he got the paperwork out and he started filling it for that woman. As he was filling the paperwork out, her daughter would come in the office and he would stop and look. Oh my God, that's her. The woman and the daughter looked at him like, what is he talking about? And he said, "Ma'am, don't worry, I got this. Your daughter's in good hands now. I will do everything I can to save her." The mother and daughter were weirded out by the whole situation, but they were okay with it. When Karl finished filling out the paperwork, he would get up and go around to the daughter, and he would introduce himself. And she would introduce herself. She told him, "Hi, I'm Elena." He told her, "Don't worry, my dear, you're in good hands now." And he would take her to do some X-rays. After they were done taking x-rays, Carl would discover that she had tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is easily curable these days, but back then, it was a death sentence. Carl was not a doctor. He was just an x-ray technician. He had no idea how to cure tuberculosis, but he would do all this research on tuberculosis, and he would contact the mother and daughter and tell them about new treatments for tuberculosis. As a matter of fact, he would pay out of his own pocket for Elena to go try these treatments, and he would bring Elena to his office as much as possible and x-ray her to see her progress. But unfortunately, 1 year after they met Carl in 1931, on October 31st, Elena would pass away. Now it's time to get crazy. When Elena passed away, her family was really upset. But Carl, he was upset on a whole nother level. And he would tell her parents and family, "Let me take care of the funeral." Her family agreed, and he would build for her a small mausoleum. A mausoleum is like a small building where you put the body in. It was super expensive, so Carl built a small temple for Elena. Carl would spend his time at the mausoleum, kneeling down and crying and begging Elena for her forgiveness. Elena's family knew about this, but they decided to just let it go. But after a few months, they would tell Carl, "Come on, man, you gotta let her go." But he just wouldn't. Years would pass by. After 7 years, Elena's family just had about enough. And they wanted Carl to stop making this about him. It was their loss. So they wanted the keys to the mausoleum. So one night, Elena's sister, whose name was Florenda, decided to go get the keys. She would drive her car to Carl's home. And as she was driving there, she would look inside his home. And she would see Carl in a nice fancy suit or tuxedo, ballroom dancing with a woman. She right then and there said, "Let me turn back and come another day." But she was already there, so she said, "I'm just gonna get the keys." So she parked her car and went to the door. She could hear elegant music playing. So she knocked on the door. No one answered. She knocked on the door. No one answered. And then she would yell, "Carl, I saw you dancing. I know you're there. Come open the door. I need to talk to you about my sister." So finally, Carl would come and open the door just a crack and tell her, "What do you want?" She started talking to him about her sister. He said, "I gotta go. Please don't bother." And right when he was about to close the door, she would look inside and she would see her sister sitting down on a chair. She was in shock and the door was closed. So Florenda went and got the police. When the police came, they knocked on the door and said, "Carl, you need to let us see the person you're dancing with." So Carl knew it was over. So he would open the door and they would all see Elena. She was dead for 7 years. They told him, "What's wrong with you, man?" And he would reply, "Elena talks to me." And 2 years after her death, in the mausoleum, she told me, "Carl, I don't want to be here. Take me back to your place." So I got a child's wagon and I put the body in and I pushed it all the way here. And ever since, she was here. Carl kept on going to the mausoleum to take care of it, keep up the appearance, but Elena was never there. Carl made Elena as beautiful as possible for a dead person. He connected all her bones together with piano wire. He removed her eyes and put crystal eyes. He put special wax all over her body. and he perfumed her all over. He did everything with her. He laughed with her. He cried with her. He talked to her. He slept with her. But Carl wasn't crazy like you and I think. He was crazy on a whole nother level. He actually believed he could bring Elena back to life if only he could get her body to the stratosphere, and the radiation up there would bring her back to life. He actually built an airship to launch her body to the stratosphere. But Carl never got the chance to launch Elena's body up to the stratosphere and bring her back to life. Instead, he was charged with wantonly, maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. Anyway, the charges would be dropped and he would be set free, and Elena's body would be returned to her family, and they would bury her in Key West. I'm Ahmed Monsieur. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please comment your opinion on this story, and please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. I'm out of this joint.